In the quiet town of Mason City, Iowa, the name Jodi Huisentruit is etched into the collective memory. Jodi was a vibrant, ambitious young woman who had a promising career as a news anchor at KIMT-TV. She was known for her infectious smile, her energetic presence, and her dedication to her work. But on the morning of June 27, 1995, everything changed. Jodi failed to show up for her early morning shift, something completely out of character for the punctual and responsible journalist. This marked the beginning of one of the most baffling and haunting mysteries in recent history. In this series, we'll delve deep into the life of Jodi Huisentruit, exploring her career, her relationships, and the events leading up to her mysterious disappearance. We'll examine the evidence, the theories, and the ongoing search for answers in a case that still remains unsolved to this day. On the morning of June 27, 1995, the routine that Jodi Huisentruit followed meticulously took a sinister turn. It was a typical early start for Jodi, who was expected at the KIMT-TV studio by 4 a.m. to prepare for her morning broadcast. But that day, she never made it. At around 3:50 a.m., Jodi's colleague, Amy Kunz, placed a call to her apartment when she noticed Jodi hadn't arrived at the studio. It was unusual for Jodi to be late, and Amy's call went unanswered. Concerned, Amy made another call shortly after, but again, there was no response. As the minutes ticked by, worry grew. Jodi's absence was not just a minor delay, it was completely out of character. By 7 a.m., a series of calls had been made to Jodi's phone, but there was still no answer. The sense of unease deepened. Jodi's colleagues decided to visit her apartment complex. Upon arrival, they were greeted by an unsettling sight. Jodi's red Mazda Miata was parked in its usual spot, but the scene around it was anything but usual. Her car keys were found in the ignition, and personal items, including her shoes, hairdryer, and earrings, were scattered on the ground. It was clear that something had gone terribly wrong. The police were called immediately, and an investigation was launched. The evidence pointed to a struggle. Witnesses later reported hearing screams around the time Jodi would have been leaving her apartment. But despite extensive searches and numerous interviews, Jodi was nowhere to be found. The morning of June 27, 1995, marks the beginning of a chilling mystery that remains unsolved. The questions are many, but the answers are few. What happened to Jodi Huisentruit on that fateful morning? As we delve deeper into this case, we hope to shed light on the events that led to her disappearance and continue the search for the truth. As the clock ticked past the critical morning hours, the unsettling reality of Jodi Huisentruit's absence began to crystallize. By mid-morning, her colleagues' initial concern had escalated into palpable fear. The decision was made to visit Jodi's apartment complex to check on her in person. What they found there added a chilling new layer to the mystery. Parked in its usual spot was Jodi's red Mazda Miata. At first glance, it seemed ordinary, but a closer inspection revealed a scene that sent shivers down their spines. The car keys were still in the ignition, an eerie sign that Jodi had intended to leave, but never got the chance. Her personal items were scattered around the car: shoes, a hairdryer, and earrings, hinting at a sudden and violent interruption. The scene spoke volumes. It was clear that something had gone terribly wrong. Witnesses later reported hearing screams around the time Jodi would have been leaving her apartment. The evidence pointed to a struggle, but despite the chaos, there were no immediate clues as to where Jodi had gone. The police were called, and the investigation began in earnest. Officers combed through the area, searching for any signs of Jodi or her potential abductor. They interviewed neighbors and scoured the surroundings for evidence, but the more they searched, the more questions arose. The discovery of Jodi's abandoned car marked a turning point in the case. It was no longer a matter of a missed alarm or a forgotten appointment. Something far more sinister had unfolded in the early hours of June 27, 1995. The abandoned car and scattered belongings painted a haunting picture of a young woman who'd been abruptly and violently taken from her life. As we continue to unravel the events of that fateful morning, we are left with the harrowing question: what happened to Jodi Huisentruit? The clues are few, But each piece of evidence brings us one step closer to understanding the mystery that has haunted her loved ones and the community for over 2 decades. As the gravity of Jodi Huisentruit's disappearance began to sink in, law enforcement wasted no time in launching a full-scale investigation. The Mason City Police Department quickly set up a command center, transforming the quiet town into a hub of intense activity. Officers canvassed the neighborhood, knocking on doors and interviewing residents in hopes of uncovering any piece of information that could shed light on what had happened to Jodi. Detectives meticulously combed through Jodi's apartment, looking for any signs of a struggle or clues that might point to her whereabouts. Her home was eerily undisturbed, as if she had planned to return at any moment. The absence of any clear evidence within the apartment only deepened the mystery. As news of Jodi's disappearance spread, the community rallied together, determined to find answers. Volunteers organized search parties, scouring nearby parks, wooded areas, and any place where she might have been taken. Flyers with Jodi's picture were plastered across the town, a stark reminder of the urgency and desperation felt by everyone involved. The police also turned their attention to Jodi's personal and professional life. They interviewed her colleagues at the news station, friends and family members, trying to piece together her last known movements and interactions. Was there anyone who might have had a motive to harm her? Was there a secret in her life that could provide a clue? Leads began to trickle in, some more promising than others. A mysterious white van was reported near her apartment complex around the time of her disappearance. Could this be a key piece of the puzzle, or just another dead end? The FBI soon joined the investigation, bringing in their expertise and resources. They conducted polygraph tests, analyzed phone records, and used advanced forensic techniques to search for any trace of Jodi. Despite their efforts, the case seemed to grow colder by the day. The investigation was exhaustive, yet the answers remained elusive. Each new lead brought a flicker of hope, but often ended in frustration. As days turned into weeks, the sense of urgency gave way to a grim determination. The community of Mason City refused to give up, holding on to the hope that Jodi would be found and that justice would prevail. As the investigation into Jodi Huisentruit's disappearance progressed, several key leads and potential suspects began to emerge. Each one brought a glimmer of hope, but also added layers of complexity to an already bewildering case. One of the most significant leads came from a report of a mysterious white van seen near Jodi's apartment complex on the morning she vanished. Witnesses described the van as old and somewhat battered, and it was seen driving slowly, almost as if its driver was looking for something or someone. Despite extensive efforts to track down this vehicle, it remained elusive, like a ghost haunting the edges of the investigation. Another lead pointed to a man who had reportedly been infatuated with Jodi. This individual had sent her multiple letters and had attempted to contact her numerous times. His behavior had raised concerns among Jodi's friends and colleagues, but was this infatuation harmless, or did it hide a darker obsession? The police interviewed him extensively, but he denied any involvement in her disappearance. Without concrete evidence, he couldn't be charged, and the trail went cold. As the days turned into weeks, the investigation also turned its focus on Jodi's professional life. Could someone at the station have had a motive to harm her? Colleagues were scrutinized, and the workplace dynamics were examined in detail. However, no clear suspect emerged from her professional circle. The FBI's involvement brought advanced forensic techniques into play. They analyzed phone records, hoping to find a clue in Jodi's last communications. They conducted polygraph tests on several individuals, but the results were inconclusive. Each promising lead seemed to dissolve into uncertainty. One particularly chilling aspect of the case was the discovery of Jodi's personal journal. In it, she had written about feeling uneasy and being watched in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Was this paranoia, or had she sensed a real threat? The journal entries provided a glimpse into her state of mind, but offered no concrete evidence to solve the mystery. As the investigation wore on, the community's initial shock and fear began to give way to a somber determination. The search for Jodi Huisentruit became a relentless pursuit for justice, driven by the hope that every new lead, every new suspect, might finally unravel the truth. As the days turned into weeks, the disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit became a national story, capturing the attention of media outlets across the country. News segments, newspaper articles, and radio broadcasts all focused on the young anchorwoman who had vanished without a trace. The media frenzy brought Jodi's case into the public eye, creating a wave of interest and concern that spread far beyond Mason City. The intense media coverage had a dual effect. On one hand, it kept Jodi's story alive, ensuring that her case remained a priority for law enforcement and the public. On the other hand, the constant spotlight brought its own set of challenges. Rumors and speculation began to circulate, sometimes overshadowing the facts and complicating the investigation. The pressure on the police to find answers intensified, with every move scrutinized by journalists and the public alike. The community of Mason City rallied together, organizing vigils, search parties, and fundraisers to support the ongoing efforts to find Jodi. Missing person posters were plastered on every street corner, and tip lines were flooded with calls from people who believed they had seen or heard something relevant. The sense of unity and determination was palpable, but so was the underlying fear and uncertainty. Family and friends of Jodi Huisentruit appeared on talk shows and news programs, sharing their memories and pleading for information. Their emotional appeals touched the hearts of viewers, adding a personal dimension to the story that resonated deeply. The public's empathy and outrage fueled the search for answers, but as time passed, hope began to wane. Despite the extensive media coverage and public interest, concrete leads remained scarce. The case seemed to hit a standstill, with each new report bringing more questions than answers. The media's role in the investigation was a double-edged sword, providing both critical support and daunting pressure. As we delve deeper into the mysterious disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit, we must remember the impact of the media and the crucial role it played in keeping her story alive. The relentless pursuit of truth by journalists and the unwavering support of the public have been instrumental in the search for Jodi, but the question remains, will we ever find the answers we seek? As the search for Jodi Huisentruit continued, numerous theories and speculations emerged, each adding layers to the already complex case. Investigators and armchair detectives alike pondered over every possible scenario, trying to piece together the puzzle of her disappearance. One of the most prominent theories suggests that Jodi was abducted by a stranger, a crime of opportunity that occurred in the early hours as she was leaving for work. The scattered belongings and signs of a struggle at the scene fueled this speculation. Some believe that a predator had been watching Jodi, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Another theory points to the possibility of a stalker. Jodi had mentioned to friends and colleagues that she felt uneasy in the days leading up to her disappearance. She had even confided in a friend about receiving disturbing phone calls. Could someone have been fixated on her, driven by an unhealthy obsession? There are also those who speculate that Jodi's abductor might have been someone she knew. This theory suggests that the person responsible was familiar with her routine and had gained her trust. The idea that her disappearance could have been orchestrated by someone within her social circle adds a chilling dimension to the case. Over the years, various persons of interest have emerged, each with their own set of peculiarities and suspicious behaviors. Some were quickly ruled out, while others remained under scrutiny. Despite extensive investigations, no definitive suspect has been identified, leaving the case shrouded in ambiguity. The lack of concrete evidence has allowed these theories to flourish, each one as plausible as the next. The community, the media, and online forums have all contributed to the ongoing speculation, keeping Jodi's story in the public consciousness. As we continue to explore the mysterious disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit, we must consider all possibilities, no matter how far-fetched they may seem. The truth is out there, waiting to be uncovered. As we delve deeper into the mysterious disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit, it's crucial to understand the current status of the case. Despite the passage of over 2 decades, the investigation remains active, with both law enforcement and private investigators continuing to seek answers. The Mason City Police Department has never closed Jodi's case, They periodically review the evidence, hoping that new technologies or fresh perspectives might shed light on this enduring mystery. Advances in forensic science, such as DNA analysis and digital forensics, offer new avenues for investigation, and every piece of evidence is meticulously re-examined. Private investigators have also taken a keen interest in Jodi's case. Organizations dedicated to solving cold cases have provided additional resources and expertise, working tirelessly to uncover new leads. These efforts have been bolstered by the support of Jodi's family and friends, who have never given up hope. Public interest in the case remains strong. True crime enthusiasts, online sleuths, and dedicated forums continue to discuss and dissect every detail of Jodi's disappearance. Tips still come in, and each one is carefully evaluated by investigators. In recent years, there have been some significant developments. A renewed focus on potential suspects and persons of interest has led to new interviews and re-evaluations of previous statements. While no definitive breakthroughs have been made, these efforts keep the case in the public eye and maintain momentum in the search for answers. Jodi's story has also been featured in various true crime documentaries and podcasts, bringing her case to a wider audience. These platforms have helped generate new tips and keep the conversation alive, ensuring that Jodi's disappearance is not forgotten. The community of Mason City continues to remember Jodi. Vigils, memorials, and community events are held in her honor, serving as a reminder that Jodi was more than just a news anchor. She was a beloved member of the community whose absence is deeply felt. As we look to the future, there is still hope that one day, the mystery of Jodi Huisentruit's disappearance will be solved. The dedication of law enforcement, private investigators, and the public keeps the search for truth alive. Jodi's story is a testament to the enduring human spirit and the relentless pursuit of justice. The disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit has left an indelible mark on her family and the Mason City community. For her family, the pain of losing Jodi is a daily struggle. Her mother, siblings, and extended family have had to navigate life without her, enduring birthdays, holidays, and milestones with a palpable void. The unanswered questions and lack of closure have only deepened their sorrow. Jodi's family has become advocates for missing persons, tirelessly working to keep her case in the public eye and support others facing similar heartache. In Mason City, the impact of Jodi's disappearance is still felt. She was not just a news anchor, she was a beloved figure in the community. Her bright smile and engaging personality made her a familiar face and a friend to many. The local residents remember her fondly, and her absence has left a lasting impression. Community events, vigils, and memorials are held in her honor, serving as a testament to the profound effect she had on those around her. The local news station where Jodi worked has also been deeply affected. Colleagues who were there during her disappearance recall the shock and disbelief that swept through the newsroom. The empty chair, the missed broadcasts, and the unanswered phone calls were haunting reminders of the tragedy. Over the years, the station has continued to honor Jodi's memory, dedicating segments to updates on her case and keeping the hope alive that one day, answers will be found. Even those who never met Jodi have been touched by her story. The mystery of her disappearance has united people in a shared quest for justice. It has sparked conversations about safety, community vigilance, and the importance of never forgetting those who are missing. Jodi's legacy is one of resilience, hope, and the unwavering human spirit. The ripple effects of Jodi Huisentruit's disappearance are a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring impact one person can have on a community. As we continue to seek the truth, we honor her memory and the strength of those who loved her. As we come to the end of our exploration into the mysterious disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit, it's clear that her story is one that continues to resonate deeply with many. The unanswered questions and the pain felt by her family and community serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring impact one person can have. Jodi's case is not just a cold case, it's a call to action. It urges us to remain vigilant, to support one another, and to never forget those who are missing. Every voice, every share, and every piece of information can bring us one step closer to finding the truth. If you have any information about Jodi Huisentruit's disappearance, no matter how small it may seem, please contact the authorities. Your tip could be the crucial piece that finally brings answers to her family and justice for Jodi. To stay updated on this case and others like it, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. By staying informed and engaged, you can help make a difference. Together, we can seek justice for Jodi and all those who are still missing. Thank you for joining us in this quest for answers. Remember, every action counts, and your involvement could help solve the next mystery. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and let's continue to support each other in this journey for truth and justice.